everybody, and welcome to the latest Anfield Index Under Pressure podcast. My name's Dan Kennett, and with me to discuss the Reds being 3 points away from the Premier League title after another fantastic win at the King Power Stadium. I've got the full team. Si, he's back. He is back from Cornwall. You will be ecstatic to know, you lovely listeners. Evening, Si.
Evening, boys. Good to be home. Great to win a game.
Did you get wet in Cornwall?
Absolutely mothered. 95 mile an hour winds, and it absolutely pissed it down. But good fun.
Sounds about standard. But did you still went out running on the beach every day?
Not on the beach, but we weren't near the beach. But yeah, I got good 20k in every day.
Wow. On holiday to run 20k. That's just amazing. Oh dear. And we also have the Boy Wonder Sports SJA Data Journalist of the Year. I can't even say it. SJA Data Journalist of the Year, Hamzah Khalique. Evening, Hamzah.
Evening, but still learning from you guys. Listeners won't know that we just spent 5 minutes just discussing Lauren's curve, Gini coefficient, all that sort of stuff, and Phil and Darth were giving me pointers. So yeah, still learning.
Well, we're moving away from football analytics now. We're moving into economics analytics. But when you have a professor of data science on your calls, it would be rude not to use him to consult, wouldn't it, Hamzah?
Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, always still learning, always learning, but especially on this podcast.
Yeah, every day's a school day, Hamzah. Every day, yeah. Even for us old duffers. Anyway, broadcasting live from his tropical island paradise. It's Dr. Phil Barter. Evening, Phil.
How are we doing, boys? We're good. One win away, boys. One win.
One win away. The bunting is out of the loft now. It's ready. It's by the front door. So he could be going up as early as Wednesday if Arsenal fuck up against Palace. Oh, by the way, just tell the listeners, Hamzah, where were you this weekend?
I was at the King Power. I was at the match with Paul Joyce. So Paul did the match report. I was there for the press conference and to watch the match. Saw a lot of bad set pieces. But yeah, saw Trent come on to get the winner. It was a really good game. You get a good view up there at the King Power. You're not on halfway, but you're so we were on the opposite side to the away fans, but slightly to the left, towards the corner. So yeah, good view of the goal, good view of the matches, and it was enjoyable. And given the way that first 5 minutes panned out, you thought that Liverpool were going to romp home, but as we're going to discuss, quite a few big chances missed.
Yeah. Yes, we will be talking a lot about that. Yes, but before we get on to the detail of the match, Si, let's talk us through those lineups because we're down to one game a week territory. So we thought it would be a weird position for team changes and team selections. And what did we come up with for this one?
I thought it was really interesting in that he's just picking what you'd expect to be first team, but first team kind of changed, didn't it? It kind of dropped into the thing that we saw January-ish for the towards the end of Champions League in away games, particularly where Diaz was through the middle. So how we've talked all season is Slot's been amazing, and maybe he's learning as he's going in both tactical selections, but like squad rotation management. But there's also, he's never had such a high price squad in his life. There are going to be lots of egos, despite being all of them being good dudes, and no one throwing their toys out of the cot until perhaps last week. But we found out a little bit about that. But we talked a lot about under Klopp and meritocracy. I've got a very famous tweet that was referencing it, but nobody seemed to take the sarcasm in that tweet. And a couple of players.
I like the way you still calling them tweets. I do admire your.
Well, they were tweets at the time, but there are a couple of players that have been playing particularly poorly, or not up to the standards that they would demand of themselves. And I feel like he's given them enough rope to hang themselves with, and they properly have not pulled themselves out, let's say. And so he finally committed to dropping Robbo this is the first time Robbo's been available for selection when Simi's started 2 consecutive games. And then he's gone Diaz through the middle so he can bring Gakpo back in, and then lower down, drop out of the starting team, Jota, which we're Jota fans on the pod, and he's not been at his best, hasn't he? So we've got Robbo and Jota that are properly out.
I don't think anybody can say on the form since the start of February that it's unjustified, can we? Like you said, he's given them enough rope and to hang themselves with, and they haven't performed. I think it's perfectly fair.
We'll go into big chances later, but let's say Jota he went through a period where he was scoring lots, but then he has missed a ton of big chances recently.
Yeah. And seeing as we didn't get your views on Kostas last week, and obviously feeding into this one, what's your view? I don't know if you listened to the pod, but we did.
Not as sorry.
But what's your this will be even more interesting then actually. What's your view on the profiles and the roles of Kostas and Robbo and how they play that same position?
Well, I would see Kostas and Bradley being a much better balance than Robbo and Bradley, because somebody's got to. So Bradley carries the ball. Bradley has 3 progressive passing meters per touch, and Trent has 7, and Robbo's is at 3.2, and Simi's is at 7. So you're getting more of a balance from the team. There's an extra angle out from the back if you have those. Plus, by all accounts, Simi's the best set piece taker in the squad because he takes them every time he's on pitch. You're getting that. He has made some positional mistakes and some, let's say, cognitive. He's shown some cognitive dysfunction, I think, in periods during his 5 years at Liverpool. But he always gets dropped in from nowhere, and he never gets time to attune to the situation. So I don't feel like we've ever seen the ceiling of Tsimikas. I don't see the big glaring idiocy that people talk about. I don't know what he doesn't do well. He's not quite as quick as Robbo was at his best, but I would have him in a race now over 10 metres. He turns well. He seems to be positionally switched on. He doesn't need to be told where to be. I don't see him statistically. He doesn't get beaten one-on-one any more than Robbo does. I've yet to see him cause us a problem with our offside line, which Robbo does all the time. And he is definitely more comfortable in possession. So his possession control is about 10 better than Robbo's. So I don't see the thing that he doesn't provide that's prevented 2 Liverpool managers from picking him. But I've never seen that, and I think he played decent game against West Ham, and I think he played well against Leicester.
Yeah, Bart, I think that's broadly chimes with what we said, isn't it?
Yeah, I think to be fair, he's been consistent, isn't he? I think that's what Si's trying to say. I think Robbo's kind of was this, and he's gone past Kostas' level. I think Kostas' level has kind of just slowly tapered off, but it's largely been the same for about a 3-year period. I think now I don't think there's any argument personally that he's the better left back we have. Whether you think he's good enough to start in the Premier League winning side of left back is a different debate. But out of the 2, I think Kostas is the better of the players. He's actually now, if you look at Mark stats, he's overtaken Robertson in terms of XT for the season at 0.19. And so
he played a third of the minutes.
He's played a third of the minutes, and for the second game in a row now, he was top in terms of EPV production, which is a slightly lower level than XT. So, yeah, I think he's more than warranted having a start.
Yeah.
And to be fair, last week, as we pointed out, when he went off, all hell of stuff broke out. West Ham suddenly came in the game. It wasn't all Robertson's fault, but he was at the scene of the crime for a lot of stuff, right? Whereas we were fairly under control, I would say, with Kostas on the pitch. But I like the combination part that side said. I think that's a real key point. Kostas with Bradley makes a lot of sense. The blend is really important.
Yeah. So yeah, well, obviously we just got to be clear that we're not talking about comparing Kostas to Andy Robbo 4 years ago. We're talking about comparing to Andy Robbo now.
No.
And yeah, it's,
Yeah.
Si?
Can I just correct my statistical error when I said it's the first time he's been chosen ahead of Robbo twice when Robbo's been available? It's true in the Premier League. He has played twice on 2 previous occasions, but there were a competition is one of them. But this is the first time in Premier League where he started 2 games that Robbo's been perfectly available.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that we'll put the link to the stats pack in the bio as always. But Bart's one of the things that stands out again is that with Simi we don't get the classic Andy Robbo overlapping, getting to the byline, putting crosses, high crosses, low crosses, cutbacks in. It's more build up and it's more deeper and it's more interior than Robbo, isn't it? What we see with Kostas in the data, yeah.
I think that's fair to say. I think he enables the wide player in front of him more. Like he'll make an undercut, or he'll enable space. He'll play the ball in behind, whereas Robbo would want to be the player on the end of that ball. I think Kostas is very good at coming in and saying, right, well, you want to be there, so I'll be the wall passer, or I'll play you in there. And I think that's his role. Again, goes back to Silas, and then we agreed last week. I think he's more comfortable in position. I'd love to get his fantasy football pressing, under pressure passing, because I imagine that'd be better than Robbo's as well.
Yeah, well, I did it
Robbo nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's got 77% pass completion under pressure, which is the best of any of our fullbacks by about 10 percentage points, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Massive deal, huge.
Absolutely.
On that as well, actually, Bradley actually has the worst figures in the team, I think.
Well, him and Robbo were terrible under pressure. Yeah, when they're
yeah. So just for context, as in I'm not sure if this includes the most recent matches, but I did this the other day. So Tsimikas drops off 2.3 percentage points compared to his normal success rate. Trent 4.8 percentage points. Robertson 13.7, and then Bradley is 18.9. Well, 19%. So his is the worst by a distance. And like, okay, like when you're under pressure, you might be going long, which might decrease your success rate, but that doesn't quite explain why someone like Tsimikas or Trent are so high, right? Or why Van Dijk, who drops off by 15%, isn't as bad as Bradley, who's 4 percentage points worse. But yeah, so yeah, there's a bit of a concern there, especially when you think about what Bart's mentioned earlier about and Sai about the balance of the fullbacks. If you're going to need someone who's passing and someone who's progressing by carrying as well. As it's someone who's carrying and someone who's passing, so you have different types of progressive outlets. But if you've just got Bradley and one of either Robertson or Kostas, a lot of that's from the carries, I think. So yeah, something to think about as well.
It also gives you the dilemma, Hamzah, that if you've got, say, Robertson and Bradley in the same team with their not very press resistant, that the centre backs haven't really got many places to go, have they, other than to each other and maybe into midfield. So they need more options so we can try and improve the retention, improve the build up.
Yeah, and in fact, actually, on the centre backs, because there's some Van Dijk. So isn't one of the tweaks that Slot made is he's tried to have Van Dijk.
Alright, the Reds, it's Jack here, and that was a clip from one of Anfield Index's audio podcasts. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure you do like, share, and subscribe to keep up to date on all things LFC. We record around 100 audio podcasts every month, with our shows featuring match-going fans, top journalists, professional analysts, and even Liverpool legends along the way. With the Great Dane himself, Jan Molby, joining us every single week. If you want to listen to all our podcasts for free, head over to anfieldindex.com/podcasts. Our audio shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Anfield Index. Or if you prefer to listen to all our podcasts in full and without any ads, why not head over to AI Pro today to check it out now at AnfieldIndexPro.com. If you want to get involved in the great growing community of Liverpool fans, check out the Anfield Index Discord. The link is in the description. Do get involved with that, from Reds around every corner of the globe. For now, Reds, hope you enjoyed this video.